Have you ever thought about what's really holding you up each day? I'm not talking about willpower, or caffeine, or even the people around you. I mean your bones. The invisible framework that lets you move, reach, bend, climb stairs, or simply stay on your feet. But here's the part no one tells you. Once you're past 50, that framework starts to weaken, quietly, gradually, and often without warning. Right now, 1 out of every 2 women over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. For men, it's 1 in 4. And here's the part that really hit me: after a hip fracture, nearly 30% of older adults don't survive the following year. That's not just about injury, it's a complete loss of mobility, independence, and for many, the beginning of a downward spiral. But the scariest thing? Most people don't even know their bones are at risk until something breaks. Osteoporosis is called the silent disease for a reason. There's no obvious pain in the early stages, no visible wound, no loud alarm. You could be losing bone mass for years without realizing it, until you trip on a step, fall in the kitchen, or wake up one day just feeling smaller. And I know, the first instinct is to think, I'm just getting older. But what if aging wasn't the end of the story? What if the solution didn't involve expensive medications, machines, or gym memberships? What if it only took 5 minutes a day, just you, your body, and a little bit of intention? Today, we're diving into a remarkable truth. Bone loss can be slowed, even reversed, and it starts with something as simple as how you move. And to guide us through this, we're joined by someone extraordinary, Dr. Shigyaki Hinohara, Japan's oldest practicing physician, over 100 years old, still working, still walking, and still helping patients rewrite what most of us think is inevitable. Imagine that for a moment. Over a century of life. And this man is still standing tall, not because he's lucky, but because he understands something most of us overlook. This isn't just a story about bones. It's about how small daily actions, done with purpose, can transform your future. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly felt stable in your own body? Not just balanced, but grounded, like you could move through the world with ease and trust. If it's been a while, or if you're still waiting for that feeling, then you're in the right place. Let's explore how 5 minutes a day might just be the most important investment you make, not just in your bones, but in your freedom, your confidence, and your life. Let me ask you something, and take a moment to really think about it. When was the last time you felt truly stable in your own body? Not just balanced, but grounded, confident that your legs could carry you, that your back could support you, that you could move through the world without hesitation or fear? For many people, that moment feels like a distant memory. And for others, it might not have happened yet at all. But here's the truth no one talks about. Bone loss doesn't begin with a fracture. It begins much earlier, with stillness. It starts the moment we stop moving with intention. The day we choose the elevator instead of the stairs. The week we skip that walk because our knees ache. The year we start spending more hours sitting than standing. And here's what happens, slowly, quietly, inside your body. The structure that once held you up begins to let you down. We lose strength, not because of age alone, but because we stop sending signals to our bones that say, you are needed. And bones, believe it or not, are listeners. They respond to movement, to pressure, to action. I've seen it so often in people I care about. A loved one who used to garden for hours slowly starts sitting more. A friend who stops kneeling to play with their grandkids. Not because they can't, but because they've grown unsure. It happens silently, not from a single injury, but from small decisions that add up over time. And then one day, you catch your reflection and realize your posture has shifted. Or you hesitate before stepping off a curb. Not because of pain, but because something inside feels fragile. But here's what might surprise you. That fragility isn't just physical. It's also about disconnection. Disconnection from our own bodies. We stop paying attention to the little signals, the tightness in the hips, the sway in our stance, the way we favor one side without noticing. And over time, our bones, our muscles, our entire framework starts to respond to that silence by fading into the background. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because motion, purposeful, mindful motion, is the signal our bones are waiting for. You don't need to train like an athlete. You don't need hours at the gym. What you need is presence, intention, a few minutes each day where you ask your body to wake up, to stand tall, to remember its role. Let me say this again. Bone loss doesn't start with injury. It starts with inattention. But the good news is, you can choose to reconnect. And it begins with a simple shift, to stop seeing movement as optional, and to start seeing it as communication. Not punishment, not pressure, just a conversation with your body that says, I still need you, I still trust you. That's how the comeback begins. Here's something that might surprise you. Your bones are not hard. Lifeless stone. They're alive, they listen, they change, every single day. See, most of us grow up thinking of bones as static, kind of like concrete. Once they're formed, they just wear down over time, right? But that's not the full picture. Not even close. Inside every bone in your body, there's a bustling little construction site going on 24/7. Two types of cells are always at work: osteoclasts, which break down old or damaged bone tissue, and osteoblasts, which build new bone in its place. It's like renovation and remodeling, happening silently, constantly, even when you're 70, even when you're 90. But here's the key. These cells don't act on their own. They respond to signals. And guess what sends those signals? Movement, weight-bearing, pressure, purpose. When you move, when you walk, lift, stretch, or simply stand with better posture, you're telling your bones, hey, we still need you, stay strong. And your bones respond by reinforcing themselves. But when you sit too long, avoid bending, stop stretching, or play it safe out of fear, the message shifts. Your body hears, you're not needed anymore. And slowly, those tiny builders start to quiet down. Bone building slows, bone breakdown speeds up, and just like that, you begin to lose density, not because of age, but because of silence. Let me tell you, this isn't just theory. It's biology. It's also personal. I remember talking with a woman in her early 70s who told me, I used to be taller. And she didn't just mean physically. She felt like she was shrinking in confidence, in spirit. That's the heartbreaking part about bone loss. It can chip away at your identity just as much as your structure. But here's the hope, and it's powerful. Your bones are always listening. They're not done just because you're older. As long as you're alive, they're ready to respond. Science backs this up too. Studies have shown that even gentle, consistent movement, like standing tall against a wall or doing slow posture exercises, can trigger your bones to grow denser again. No intense workouts, no machines, just mindful, regular signals. Think of it like this. Your bones are waiting for a conversation. And that conversation doesn't need to be loud or aggressive. It just needs to be honest and consistent. So if you've been thinking, it's too late, it's not even close. Every small movement, every signal you send, every time you choose to stand a little straighter, you're reminding your body, I'm still here. I still care. I still believe in you. And sometimes, that's all your bones need to start rebuilding. Let's be honest, when we hear the words, bone health, what usually comes to mind? Calcium pills, weight machines, maybe someone at the gym lifting heavy, sweating buckets. For many people, it sounds overwhelming, even impossible, especially if you've already been feeling stiff, fragile, or disconnected from your body. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to. Your bones don't need punishment. They need participation. And that starts with something simple, gentle movement. You don't need to run marathons or lift iron. What your bones are really waiting for is a signal. A quiet reminder that says, hey, I'm still here. I still need you. Think of it like this. Your bones are constantly listening. And movement is the language they understand. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be fast. But it does have to be consistent. Let me give you an example you can try right now. No equipment needed. Stand with your back gently against a wall. Bring your heels close. But don't strain. Let your shoulder blades rest against the surface. If your head touches the wall too, great. If not, no problem. That distance is actually information. It tells you something about your posture today. Now, take 2 slow, deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you exhale, feel the ground under your feet. Feel your spine remember how it was built to stand. That's it. No squats, no jumping, just presence. And here's where it gets really interesting, even in that stillness. Your postural muscles start to activate. The ones deep in your core, along your spine. They're like quiet guardians that help keep you upright. And when they switch on, they send a powerful message to your bones. You're needed here. And if you want to take it one step further, try this. Raise your arms slowly along the wall in a snow angel motion. Elbows bent, hands moving in a soft arc, like making a goalpost shape. Keep your back in contact with the wall as best you can. It might sound simple. It might even feel like nothing at first. But what you're doing is activating a chain of muscles and joints, from your shoulders to your spine to your pelvis, and this chain is essential for balance, posture, and fall prevention. This isn't a workout, it's a conversation, a way to tell your body, I remember you, let's reconnect. And here's something that always stays with me. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it regularly. Even 5 minutes a day is enough to start changing the way your body responds. To begin rebuilding trust between your mind and your frame. Because the goal isn't just stronger bones. The real goal is confidence. It's walking across the room without fear. It's standing taller not just physically, but emotionally. So, if you've ever felt like your best days of movement are behind you, I'm here to tell you, your body is still listening. And your bones are still ready. Let's keep moving, gently, consistently, one breath at a time. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds good, but does it really work? And I get it, when you've been told for years that only medications or intense workouts can help your bones. The idea that 5 minutes of gentle posture work could make a difference might seem, well, too simple to be real. But here's the thing, science says otherwise. Let me share something with you that not enough people are talking about. In 2015, a study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy looked at women over the age of 65, a group especially vulnerable to bone loss and poor balance. They weren't given pills or weight machines. Instead, they were guided through targeted posture exercises, simple, alignment-based movements. And the result? Improved spinal curvature, better balance. This is big, because when your spine is better aligned, you reduce your fall risk, you breathe easier, and your internal organs even function better. And when your balance improves, everything changes. How you walk, how you move through crowds, how confident you feel leaving the house. But it doesn't stop there. Another study, published in Osteoporosis International, took it a step further. Participants practiced gentle, weight-free resistance training, things like wall-based exercises and slow, intentional movements, nothing extreme, just small efforts, done consistently over 12 months. And guess what? They didn't just maintain bone density, they increased it, especially in critical areas like the spine and hips, places most affected by osteoporosis. Let's take a moment and let that sink in. These were not bodybuilders, not marathon runners, just everyday people showing up for a few minutes a day. And their bodies responded, not with pain, but with growth. So what's the real secret here? It's not about intensity, it's about rhythm. Your bones, just like your heart or your muscles, respond to patterns. They don't need you to push harder. They need you to show up regularly. A little bit every day is far more powerful than one exhausting workout a week. Think of it like watering a plant. Pouring a gallon once a month will drown the roots. But a small drink every day? That's what helps it thrive. And our bones? They're no different. So if you've ever doubted that 5 minutes a day could matter, now you know. It's not just hopeful thinking. It's biology. It's backed by research. It's real. And most importantly, it's something you can start today. Let's take a moment to zoom out. Throughout this episode, we've explored something most people overlook, that your bones aren't just there to hold you up. They're alive, and they're always listening. But here's the truth I hope you take with you today. Bone density isn't destiny. Yes, we all lose some density over time. That's part of aging. But how your body responds, how your bones rebuild, how your posture holds, how steady you feel, that depends on one thing. Whether you're still sending the signal that you're here. And you're paying attention. The problem is, when we stop moving, we don't just lose strength, we lose communication. And the longer we're silent, the more disconnected we become from our own bodies. We start to feel fragile, hesitant, smaller than we used to be, not just in stature, but in spirit. But here's the beautiful part. Your body never stops listening. Even after years of inactivity, even if you've felt disconnected, even if you've told yourself, it's too late, it's not about turning back the clock. This journey isn't about reclaiming youth. It's about restoring a relationship with the body you live in today. Because when you start moving again, slowly, gently, with intention, you're not just activating muscles. You're rebuilding trust. You're telling your spine, your hips, your balance system, I believe in you again. And that belief? That's where real transformation begins. It's what helps you stand taller, walk more confidently, breathe more deeply, and most importantly, it helps you feel at home in your body again. Let's be honest, some days are hard. Motivation doesn't always come easy. But your body doesn't need perfection. It just needs consistency. 5 minutes, one wall, a few deep breaths, a moment of connection. You are not doing this because you're fragile. You're doing this because you're alive. And your body, no matter what age, no matter what history, is still ready to meet you there. So let this be your reminder. Every small movement, every posture you reclaim, every time you choose to show up, that's a conversation worth having. You're not too late. You're right on time. Let's keep moving, together. Before you go, I've got a special health gift I'd love to share with you. On this channel, I share simple, effective health tips, all based on real scientific research and practical, everyday experience. And if you'd like to receive a free gift, it's super easy. Hit the subscribe button, comment below, claim my gift. I'll send it straight to you. Don't miss out, because your journey to better health starts with small choices just like this one.